Okay, intro time. 3, 2, 1. There's no going
There's no
back.
going back. Please don't hold me back.
Remember back in the days. I can relate. To people nowadays, I just don't relate to people nowadays, but I do relate to the guest I have today, aka Apollo, a new YouTuber, but not a new entrepreneur. He has this beautiful video on his YouTube channel introducing himself. And it's called Who's Apollo and Why Should You Care? Well, Apollo, I'm gonna show people this video now in the edit.
Hey guys, so this is one of the first videos that I'm making. I just arrived in Belgrade. Before that I was in Antwerp, but I got a bit sick of Middle Europe. Now I'm in Belgrade and it's beautiful. People are so nice here. Food is amazing. It's really a charming city. The reason that I'm making this video is because I want to give you a bit of a context of who I am, what I do, and what this purpose of this channel is. So my name is Apollo, and the past 2-3 years I was quite busy making money online, and that started like a lot of people with e-commerce and dropshipping in the beginning in Europe. That eventually transitioned into coaching, so helping people with a coaching program to level up either with paid ads or organic acquisition methods, and helping content creators or YouTubers to create better content, write a more compelling message, and reach a better audience. After that, I used all of these skills of that was content, community, marketing, and I moved into DeFi and crypto space around 1 year ago. The last year a lot has happened. I've moved from Bali to Cape Town to Dubai to Antwerp and to here, just traveling around, working a lot. The reason why I'm doing this channel is because I believe that it's not really that hard to make money online if you know how to do it. A lot of people don't. I spent the summer in Europe and I see how desperate young people are, how lost they are, and the lack of opportunities or possibilities that they see, even though they're all around us. If we look here, it's making money online is really not that difficult if you know how to do it. You need a skill, you need some leverage, and you need to know how to sell yourself. And I'm gonna make a lot of videos in the next couple of days of how you can do that, how you can get started, and how you can use maybe existing skills or an existing network on how to do so. I'm here in Belgrade. I'm having a great time. My days here, as in the last month, are quite boring. I wake up, I have some eggs, and then I work the whole day. I'm feeling very inspired here. What I like about cities like, for example, Belgrade or Kiev or Istanbul is that there's a certain kind of hustle and a certain kind of drive of both young people. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just at least how I perceive it. Sort of hustle, desire to make your life better, desire to work for a better future. If I spend too much time in Middle Europe, everybody's so comfortable and everybody's kind of lazy and people are just taking the summer off. And why would I work on the weekend? But all of us are now seeing that, the institutions or the security that we all believed in Europe is now slowly starting to crumble, and we will see it really happening in the winter when gas prices are gonna hit and people are like, why did I get vaccinated 5 times again? Or do I really care about that war that much that I want to pay 5-10x for my gas bills? So we'll see. The reason that I'm making this channel is quite simple. I want to inspire and help others to walk down a similar path like I did, and that's making money online. That's building skills that are really valuable in the marketplace instead of working 80 hours in an internship that is not paid. Build your own future with your own hands. It's not really that hard if you know how to do it. It requires hard work, a bit of patience, and some time, but I can guarantee you it's going to be worth it. So nice to meet you. If you're listening to this, there are going to be a lot more videos on this channel. This is one of the first ones. Greetings from Belgrade. Apollo out.
Okay, but now tell me, why should they care? Who are you?
First of all, I'm incredibly honored to be here talking to Martin Garden on this beautiful Sunday. It's the 4th of December.
Day. It's the Sabbath.
And Lord's Day, indeed. And yeah, I think we're going to have a fun time talking about Web3, maybe some marketing, maybe some YouTube.
Yeah.
The next 1000x token.
Hey, subscribe now, like.
Subscribe now. link below. Use to sign up on Binance. Let's go. On FTX. Let's go.
Bybit, 100x leverage, guys. Full bonus. 4K bonus, man. Okay, nice. Yeah. So we're YouTubers, marketers, apparently. So, yeah, tell them more. Like, why should people care about you? Who are you? And,
that's such a hard question, dude. You're putting...
No, but that's why...
It's my pitch. So, short story, guys. My name is Apollo. I'm 25. I come from a town that has more sheep than people in the beautiful Austrian mountains. And across my journey of life, I went through Japan, Indonesia, Amsterdam, and now I'm in Serbia, Belgrade. Right now I'm working in Web3, mostly on the software side. So we're building something very exciting on the ad tech. So enabling projects, founders, tools to get some data on their marketing, because I feel that's a really big tool. But I don't know, things I'm excited about is talking with somebody like Martin Garden, singing,
Hey.
iced coffee.
Yup, I have the regular coffee and Fanta lemon.
Yeah. And recently, 2 months ago, I think I decided, I'm going to tell you the story, guys, okay? How I decided to start on YouTube. So I sat down for myself and I thought really hard. How did all of my rich friends get rich? I sat down. I was in Antwerp back at the time. And my result was all of them had a YouTube channel, sold a course, did whatever, had some sort of channel of people that they can sell stuff to, or like a sales channel. And then I was like, okay, maybe you should do it. And then I talked to a friend of mine, also Web3 guy, and he asked me like, yeah, you still do anything in Web2? And I was like, no. And I said, do you do anything? He said, yeah, like I have a course that still makes me like 100K a month. I was like, fuck, this is the sign. This cannot be true. I need to do this too.
Wow.
And I think that's why I started creating videos. It's mostly in the Web3 marketing niche. So yeah, that's how I spend my free hours every week.
Okay, so for people that don't know, like, what is the difference between Web 2 and Web 3 for you? And you say you're a marketer, but do you do organic marketing or like the more regular marketing?
Yeah, so I think it's an interesting answer to say what is the difference between Web 2 and Web 3 marketing, and maybe that's also going to explain the difference of Web 2 and what Web 3 is. So Web 2 marketing is you being on Facebook, you being on Instagram, you searching up something on Google, you wanting to buy a microphone, a bikini, whatever, a bottle of water. And me as a marketer, what I try to do is I try to find one person that I can target and then retarget and retarget and retarget. So it's me against one person. And for example, if you look at Web3, it's incredibly community based. So it's a cohort of people. So it's not me against one, it's me against the whole group that organizes itself, people that come together, that are in Discord and Telegram, that move, that talk with each other, that congregate, that make plans for or against you.
Okay.
So you as a Web3 marketer need to create a channel that's usually on Twitter or Discord or Telegram, but they find you on Twitter to create a community feeling. So Web 2 is the basic internet that you look at. All the online stores, the Shopify things, the regular internet that we live in. And Web3 is something that is built by communities, is a much larger vision of something. So I think what we can really see in Web3 right now is that we're really early to what we're building, especially now in the bear market where you see people lose hope or give up or leave the space, is that it's a group of people that believes in a North Star, that believes in a positive future. And for example, if you look at all the bull runs that happened, for example, with Luna or with NFTs back in the days, like people were sold on positive future, right? Generational wealth. Yeah. And these communities then, hype each other up or get other people involved or more people. And yeah. So me as a Web3 marketer, what you do is you create a system or you create a project, whatever that might be. And then you try to get people behind the common vision, and then you build it.
Yeah, okay, cool. So a lot of people in crypto, they say that Web3 is actually decentralized and Web2 is centralized, right? So you have like Facebook and Google and whatever, they are like the companies that are the third party to like your information, and they sell it to like big data and all of that. So Web3 in my eyes, it's like a decentralized world. And it's kind of funny that you say that, because you say there's communities there and they believe in a certain North Star. That's kind of like a decentralized community outside of society with their own rules and their own ways of thinking. It's kind of culty, maybe even. But crypto also is kind of culty in a way, because it was like a reaction to the 2008 economic crisis. So Bitcoin was invented to be decentralized and to like stop fraud and all of that stuff. But if you are, for example, talking about Web3, do you also keep in mind decentralized apps, decentralized currencies? Is that like the same world for you, or is it different, if you understand what I mean?
Yeah, so I like what you said there, is that Bitcoin was a reaction to financial crisis, over leverage, risk taking on behalf of the user. And I mean, it's funny what happened to FTX, right?
Yeah, it's insane.
But Bitcoin itself is a currency of the internet, and currency of taking responsibility or power from the singular person to every person that participates in the blockchain, or every holder.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what Web3 is. So every person can contribute. Entry barriers are really, really, really low for you to get started in Web3 or learn, educate, build, develop code is very small. I think for myself, the argument between centralization and decentralization sometimes feels a bit like self-masturbation. Just like, it needs to be centralized and decentralized, and it's not decentralized. Twitter needs to be decentralized. But there are some things that shouldn't be decentralized and some things that should. For example, if you look at Uniswap, or if you look at decentralized exchanges, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's crypto.
Agreed.
And there are some things that maybe shouldn't be decentralized, such as Twitter, in my opinion, because it's probably not going to work. And what I think we forget with Web3 is that we always want to do our own stuff. We want to sail away, revolutionize, and take over the banking system. But we're intrinsically dependent on what Web 2 is. Because without financial instruments, like, what are you going to do? Like, how are you going to pay your rent? Or how are you going to get a credit card? How are you going to hire people? How are you going to get employed? How are you going to do certain things? So there's this famous quote that I read last week, and it said, every revolution that tries to destroy the current system that is in place is gonna result in anarchy, or is gonna result in another revolution. So I think what we should see Web3, again, what happened with, for example, in the .com in 2000, is that we are taking existing businesses, existing people, existing structures, improving where they lack, for example, in decentralization or in sharing responsibility, and then naturally through innovation and through offering people a better choice, people are going to move to Web3.
Okay. I feel you. Okay, so I also studied sociology, right? And the thing that you just said with if you implement too much change at once, and then people will there will be chaos or anarchy or whatever. That's kind of like what sociologists learned from the French Revolution, because they changed all of the rules in like one night, and then the day after, everybody started killing each other. There was blood on the streets. It was actually insane. So ever since then, sociologists are not allowed to like change policies too fast all of the sudden, you know? And also with like COVID and all that stuff, that's why they have to kind of drip it a little bit. Like, oh, there's this new enemy. Oh, maybe you'll get a vaccine. Oh, here's the vaccine. Next vaccine. 50th vaccine, whatever, but they kind of drip the change in. And here in the Netherlands, they were also on TV, they were like spreading the message like, you got to get accustomed to the new normal. That was like the quote. And it's kind of weird, because we live in this day and age where you have also Kanye West going completely crazy, also because of societal structures that he just can't comprehend. But there are more people like him that are like, he's obviously mentally, like, there's something going on. Like he's bipolar, like officially, like that's fine. So that kind of explains his way of thinking. But there are a lot of alt-right people that just come out of nowhere. And it's kind of funny because also in crypto and the whole decentralized mindset, a lot of those people are pretty extreme. Like some of them are extremists. They're like, yeah, we don't want the system. We don't want democracy. We don't want anything. We don't like the left. We don't like the right, whatever. Some of them are liberal. Some of them are Democrats. Anyway, my point is, if you want to change the system that you're living in right now, like capitalism or whatever, you just had some arguments and you said, how do you pay the rent? How do you do this? How do you do that? Well, you could use smart contracts, for example, to like pay a rent, but in a different currency or whatever. But these changes are so big that if you do them overnight, that people will just go insane. And they're also working on digital currencies now, like central bank digital currencies. And that has been announced for a while as well. So people will get used to it because they've heard it so much now. And I think that's also a way of marketing. So the system and the government and whatever, they also kind of do marketing on the people, because otherwise they will go crazy because they can't really handle reality, to be honest. And we outsourced the infrastructure of the world and our country and whatever, and that's what you pay tax for eventually. So long story short, I think, there has to be some centralization as well. So people need to give control to some other people, because otherwise, if you want to do everything yourself, that's something I also experienced. Like if I want to do everything myself, like editing or streaming, everything, that's just too much. So I have to outsource something as well. But I do think in the future, the decentralized narrative that's going on in crypto is going to be the one that's going to be big, and I think centralized coins will fail. What do you think? Like, do we need crypto to change the world, like capitalism, like everything that's going on right now, inflation, the dollar probably getting hyperinflated because there's too much printing or the pandemics and whatever. Like crypto's real vision is to like create separate communities as well that have their own currencies. And you were talking about that as well. So what do you think the role of crypto is going to be in the future? Is it going to be centralized? Is it going to be decentralized? Is it going to be for certain Web3 communities? Or do you think it's also going to be more worldwide and not just on the internet, for example?
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you an example. So I have a YouTube channel, and my main editor is an 18-year-old Tunisian guy.
Yeah.
So imagine 15 years ago, you start producing content, whatever, writing blogs, and you want to hire somebody from Tunisia. Yeah. And you want to pay that person with a bank transfer. Good luck, right? Yeah. It's going to take a while. And then obviously PayPal came along, and now you can pay people with credit cards or Revolut. But it's still a hassle, right? PayPal is going to take a week, it's going to take a month. But now I pay that guy in crypto, and it takes 1 minute for whatever the cash that I'm sending him to arrive. And I listened to an interview of Jack Dorsey and Lex Friedman. That was like 2 years ago about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And he, for example, said, you're a young startup in Ethiopia. The main thing that is holding you back is payment processing. Is the ability, for example, you have a car sharing app, to pay riders, to pay users, for people to exchange, because you need to go to bank, you need a license, you need legislation. It's going to take half a year. It's going to cost you $500,000. Yeah. So the role of crypto, from my own experience, is that it's an extremely easy way for you to interact with somebody in Venezuela, in Japan, in Russia. Doesn't matter, because you can cut out governments and legislations, and we can talk about that a bit later, what that effect is going to have. But it's, an extremely easy way to pay people, to share workforce. And it's like, for example, you go to the Netherlands, or you go outside your door and you ask people, hey, what do you think about crypto? Everybody like, scam, right? Oh, it's not going to work. It's a Ponzi, like, crypto, Bitcoin, this is. But if you go right now to Ukraine or Russia, these people need crypto. Fair. Because if you go to your bank, like, they froze your US dollar. Good luck. Yep. Or if you go to South America, they love crypto because their governments are fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So I think these things evolve naturally, and if you need the air to breathe, you're naturally gonna adapt crypto. Because we're in Europe, right? And we're just chilling. We're like, like our governments are fine.
Yeah,
like,
whatever.
I mean, people are not like, they're good, but they're like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, mediocrity.
They're going to watch out for my pension fund, maybe.
Yeah, of course.
But the moment
whatever.
you realize, I'm getting screwed over.
Yep.
What's the solution? Okay, Bitcoin.
Yep.
And it could be, you can call it anything, but you're going to go to a solution that not some person can change, alternate, control, change the code, take away all your Bitcoin or all your, let's say, Euro native currency. So that's, in my experience, the role of crypto is to, work fast, payment processing, bringing people together, bringing people over the internet. And speeding up things. If I want to start an NFT project, I can start it tonight.
Yeah.
If I want to start an e-commerce store in the Netherlands, it's going to take me 3 months.
Yep.
So who do you think is going to win, right? Based on speed of innovation, it's clear that, the faster you are, the easier it is, the more it's going to get. And obviously there are some things that need control, and governments will implement some sort of measurement to control because they want the cut, right? They're in power. Somehow they need to get paid.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, there was also this story about Apple wanting 30% of gas fees of Coinbase, and that's why the Coinbase app is blocked now in the App Store. But I think it's really interesting how you view things, because I agree actually with everything, but the way you think is more, I don't know, maybe a bit more marketing-y or something. I don't know. Like the way you explain things is like, okay, this is going to work because this and this, and people need this, and that's why. And I'm more of a person like, okay, I see the world, what needs changing, and I don't really think in terms of people, but more like systems or something. But it's really interesting because, I do agree with everything you just said. But to me, it also sounds like it's just a better version of PayPal right now for a lot of people, right? So there are some people that edit my videos as well, and there's this dude from Greece, and there are some people from Pakistan, I think, and you can also see that your euros or your dollars or whatever you earn, because you can just send it away to another country right now, it has a lot more purchasing power over there. So your $30 or $40 is worth, I don't know, $150 over there in terms of purchasing power. But that's also pretty crazy about crypto, because it's actually enabling economies that shouldn't really interact to interact, right? Like a lot of wealth from the Netherlands is going to other countries, and it's kind of stabilizing in a way. So that's what I kind of like. So I don't know, maybe that's also going to be a reason why the world is going to be more, less capitalistic, maybe less capitalist, if there's more sharing of the wealth, more of the wealth is getting over there. I don't know the word. Okay, I'm Dutch, leave me alone. But anyway, I was also seeing that you are on YouTube right now, and you are uploading a lot and fast, and you already have a pretty big catalog right now. So I had a question actually, how fast are you growing on YouTube, and is that going according to plan? And what is your YouTube strategy? But also, I have another question. You want to have more reach because of your YouTube channel for selling courses or whatever. What do you want to sell?
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with YouTube strategy first.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about YouTube is that if you play it right, you play a long-term game. So it's the same, let's say with Bitcoin, is you're going to buy it. And if you hold it for 5 or 10 years or whatever, it might make you a very happy man.
Yeah.
And what I want to play with YouTube, or the businesses that I'm building, is I just want to play long-term games. So I want to do things that compound. I want to do things that add value over the years to come. And that's YouTube. So I've been uploading now for 2.5 months, I think, and I have 100 subs.
Yeah, I saw. That's pretty sick. Congrats, man.
But I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. So my goal for YouTube is quite simple. It's for me to understand content, for me to become a better speaker, creator, add value to the marketplace or enrich the knowledge base. I don't want to sell anything. I don't care. So my goal with YouTube is to enrich the knowledge base of Web3, help other people with, marketing. So they're not like, fuck, I need to buy a course. I need to learn this or I'm going to lose a lot of money and time doing that. Yeah. Because I learned a lot of knowledge from people for free. So for example, if you look at Russell Branson or Alex Hormozi or Naval Ravikant, right, it's all free. You just take it. Yeah. And that's what I think is beautiful about Web 2 and Web 3. Yeah. So that's my YouTube. I'm uploading fast. Yeah. So I'm uploading 3 long videos a week and I think 1 short per day, simply because I want to get stuff done.
But that's a good reason. Yeah.
So what is the last question? Sorry, Martin.
I was asking you, let's see, what is your YouTube strategy? Like, how do you upload
YouTube so strategy is a long one, dude. But I'm gonna try to break it down. So if you create YouTube content, there's a user that wants to see it, right? So you're creating content for somebody. You can say, okay, I'm an artist. I just draw for myself and I just want to look at my own paintings. But eventually, like, you do it for people to enjoy or have fun or get entertained. So they learn something, they have fun, they can connect with other people, they can connect with you in a different way. So what I do is highly educational, highly technical knowledge. Because right now I pop up on YouTube and nobody knows who the fuck I am, right? So why would you care? If I turn up on YouTube and I start vlogging like Emma Chamberlain, like nobody cares, right? Like they're like, okay, who's this dude like telling me about how he cooks dinner? Like, I don't care.
Fair,
So my YouTube strategy is simple. It's just high value, high technical. I'm not going to do too much SEO bullshit because I don't want to teach you how to install a MetaMask. That's just not my thing. There are other people for that. But if you think about how do you grow on YouTube, is you start out with 0 followers and you can say, okay, I'm only going to produce for the algorithm, right? And we can talk about that later. But producing for the algorithm is quite easy, right? If you look at my short, this is like, hey guys, 100x, or like Mr. Beast content, where it's high fun, everybody likes it, just like the monkey brain of people. And then easily you're gonna reach 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 subs if you just stay consistent. But for me, like, I don't really care if I have 100 subs or 1,000 or 10,000. I just want, like, my audience is Web3 builders, founders, smart people, developers that I can help with my knowledge. So it's probably going to be like 10,000 or 1,000 rather than 100 million.
I don't know.
So that's it. My personal strategy of why I do this is I'm never going to sell a course on Web3 marketing because I just think that's just against anything that we're fighting for. And then charge with dollars. That would be fun. But I just want to connect with people. And for example, I have a friend in the last bear market. He's French and he just interviewed people, had a podcast. Then he had access to all the ICOs, all these people. And then he became a crazy millionaire. So
sick.
That's kind of it. Connect, put myself in a position where I can play a really long-term game with content that I enjoy creating without only feeding the algorithm.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay. Well, I think that's because you provide value and you just want to give everything out for free. It's kind of like what Gary Vee also said. Just put everything out there for free. I think that's actually the best way to grow, because even if you have like 100 million subs because of your shorts and whatever, they're probably not that engaged. They probably just subbed because of that short or whatever, but they don't really care about you. And then when you upload something that's actually you, they probably unsubscribe again and whatever. So I think that's pretty cool. And the thing you said about selling a course and charging dollars for it, it's kind of personal to me because I'm gonna sell the DeFi domination course, right? So that is a Web3 thing, but I do think people need it, and it takes a lot of my time. So I think it's a good way for me to turn it into a little business. And I do want to sell some stuff on YouTube. That would be nice. I kind of want some reach, but I also want to have fun. The thing that I really noticed in my years of YouTube now is that when I'm thinking about it, and this is something that is going to be about marketing again. So when I think a lot about my content, like, okay, what strategy should I use? What title should I use? Blah, blah, blah. It kind of paralyzes me. That's something that I'm noticing. Like, I just wake up and there's a lot of stress and I'm like, okay, what should I do? What should I do? Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. And then every time that I live stream, I'm just in a certain flow. And then that live stream, for example, is like 2 or 3 hours. And those become really good, solid videos as well. So now I changed my whole vision on YouTube, to be honest. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to be a live streamer. And for the first time, I'm actually outsourcing stuff. Like, okay, you guys can edit that stream into this. I think that's going to work really well because all of that pressure, the really strategic type stuff, I don't have to think about it anymore. So I'm fully in my power. I can just do the entertaining stuff, the info, and everybody can check it out. Yeah, my question is, what do you think is more effective if you want to have success on YouTube? Is it that go with the flow mentality? Is it that energy, or just really being good at marketing, SEO, titling, thumbnails, and just really exploiting the algorithm? Like, we know you want to do the whole organic thing now and just add value, but what do you think is actually more effective and why?
Okay. I love that topic, though. So let's think about it as a line. On the one side, you have business, and here you have creativity. Yeah. So here you're an artist creating art for the sake of art. And here you're optimizing for the cash you're going to take home at the end of the month. And I think every creator needs to think about, where in this line do I want to be? Yeah. Like, what do I want to do? I need the cash. All right. Do I go here? Yeah. I really don't care. I just want to make smiley pictures. Then go here. Yeah. In any case, I think if you want to, because we live in a society where we need money, or maybe you say, okay, I already have some cash in the bank. I don't care. Yeah. But at some point, you're going to see yourself conform somewhere along the line. For me, I think it's in the middle, because I don't need the money. I don't care. I just want to create and I want to have fun. And I really relate with what you said, is we both live a very busy life. Yeah. We're not full-time YouTubers. Like, I have other stuff going on. So I got in the trap of me sitting down over perfecting scripts, thumbnails, like just spending 20 hours a week. Just, I think I still spend 20 hours, but like a lot of hours, just YouTube and content. Okay, what's the user and algorithm and analytics? And eventually that slows you down and that kills the joy of you being a creator. So I think I'm also going to navigate more towards the art side. If you say, okay, I'm a businessman, I'm a business, I want to sell, let's say, full-on crypto course, and I want to make a lot of money. Yeah. Then you're going to go more to the business side. And obviously that business side needs to be creative, needs to be art in your own way, because otherwise people are not going to watch it. But then you're really going to optimize for average watch time, for click-through rate. You're really going to optimize for people to use your links or to buy your course, whatever it might be. I do think that if you want to do something on a longer time scale, if you want to do something for 80, 100, 120 hours per week, it needs to bring you joy. It needs to bring you energy. You need to sit down like you do your live streams and be like, wow, right?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I love it.
Like, I'm in the stream and I'm like, this is good, right? Nice. So that's why I think it's always a good way to say, okay, I'm going more towards the art side without over perfecting, I mean, the main reason that people fail on YouTube is they give up at some point, or they're like, I'm not getting clicks, I'm getting subs, right? People don't like my content. And then you, in the compounding interest curve, you stop in the beginning and you don't get the benefits. So anybody that's listening to this and says, okay, I want to start on YouTube, just sit down and create the simplest form you can do. Yeah. No edits, just a fucking Loom video, whatever it might be. Yeah. For you, and then naturally, because we're competitive animals, you want to get a bit better, like 1% or 2%, and then you're going to start doing titles and thumbnails because you want to get some more clicks maybe, right? But I think the best thing, get started, and reduce the ego, reduce you wanting more. And say, okay, I'm gonna do this for 5 years. And if you do YouTube for 5 years, you're gonna be rich. Like, it's a no-brainer. It's really, if you say, okay, I have this, if I ask you, Martin, whatever, you're broke now, I'm gonna pay you $1 million in 4 years if you just upload on YouTube. Are you gonna do it? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so okay, then do it.
Yeah,
that's how you become a millionaire, guys.
Yeah, it's
that's how you become a millionaire.
Yeah. That's how you do it, guys. The secrets. Yeah, it's actually kind of true, but you do need to grow, because I know people that also upload, and they just don't listen to any feedback of the analytics at all, and then after 5 years they still have like 50 views. So that doesn't
really, that
work.
happens.
Yeah, that happens a lot actually.
You upload every week and you're still at 50 views.
Yeah, there are some people that do that, but their content is just not engaging at all. It's like it has like zero thought in it, Like there are some creative people I know that just upload, I don't know, their songs or their music videos or their beats or some gameplay, and they just don't say anything, and it doesn't work. You're not actually producing content. So that's like, if you're on this scale, you're like totally on the creativity scale. But then you also see those people complain like, oh, I've been doing it for 5 years. And I'm like, yeah, but you have to listen a little bit to the analytics, okay? Just a little bit. And then, there's a lot of people right now on the internet. I don't think there has been any time that there are more people online all the time. So there's a lot of people that are watching YouTube. And I think if you do shorts and stuff, it can really get out of hand. So I agree with you, actually. And I really like the creativity thing. I've been stuck there for a bit, and then I also grew, but I gained like a few subscribers per day. And I was like, that's fine. But now I'm like, okay, I kind of want to do more. I want to do more creative stuff. But I'm getting, held back because of time constraints. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to outsource. So to any people out there watching that are like full on creative, and they're so against business and money and blah, blah. I think the middle is the best as well, because you can actually do more creative stuff, and you can let that money enable you to do more creative stuff. So it's a belief that I had like really, really strong. Like, I don't want to sell out to that whole business thing. But then I also was in crypto, and I was like, who am I?
It's a hard one.
Shit.
It's a thing to meditate on a Sunday.
Yeah. It's kind of strange, because crypto made me wealthy, but I was in crypto for idealistic reasons, like screw the system, and it's kind of weird how that all evolved. So that was kind of new to me. But anyway, business convinced me that if you really want to grow as a creative person, also as a musician or whatever, you need the business side as well. So go subscribe to his channel, because he shares everything.
30 days freedom
for
challenge.
Free. For the first 10 days. After that, it's like recurring bills and stuff, and we're not liable about. no, but actually, it's really good content. It's really insane content. It's content that you get, like, if you pay like 10K for some sort of Web3 mastermind Telegram group or whatever, I think it's kind of similar to his content. So just check out that content.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, actually, I thought about this. Why did I start YouTube? The reason was that I always try to convince my friends to start YouTube, start a personal brand, maybe start coaching. And I was like, this takes too much time. Dude. Like, I'm explaining to 20 people all the same shit over and again. Facts. So what I do now is people like, hey, like, what should I do? And I just say, hey, watch these 5 videos.
Yes, that's so good. That's actually the reason I'm creating a course on DeFi.
It's a very selfish reason to protect my time while still empowering my friends.
Yes. And if you just get ad revenue, it's fine, because the whole world can DM you. There's no way you can react to all of them. So just create a freaking video. I mean, I have a video on a Mario 64 online tutorial. It's been watched 120,000 times now. Like, there's no way I could have taken the time to explain it to all of them. No, bro. Like, no
that's
way.
That's a beautiful thing of scale, right?
Yes, that's really dope. Yes. So I have another question for you. What is success to you?
Okay.
Simple question.
So I had this question. I was asked by that from a friend of mine. If you were immensely rich, or not immensely rich, enough money to really buy you freedom. So for me, there's like 10 mil. How would you live your life? What would you do differently? And I sat down and I thought, okay, I wouldn't do anything different. So,
same stuff.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
So success for me means waking up to an empty calendar, pursuing things that I enjoy doing. And like I live in Belgrade right now. I have like half a friend, one friend.
Yeah.
One friend. And I just wake up and I work out and I eat good food. And it's so boring.
Yeah, but it's nice.
I can just use my productivity as a human being to create something that I hope is going to make the world a better place and also me a richer man. So success for me is freedom, location independence, financial independence, not waking up to your government pulling some shit and you're like, I'm screwed, dude. Or you waking up and your employer firing you and you have no clue what to do. So I think the best thing to do in the beginning is just to make some money, get rich.
Yeah.
Then use that money to buy you freedom and pursue the things that you really enjoy doing. And that's a really hard thing to figure out. And I'm gonna tell you a story there. So I was in Dubai 3 weeks ago to meet with some people, meet some friends. And Dubai is a really interesting place. For anybody that hasn't go there, like move all the ego aside, capitalistic, blah, blah, blah. But you go there and everybody has money, right? Everybody's rich. And you go there. And for example, I talk to my friends and they're like, okay, like, what's your goal? What do you want to do in life? Okay, I want to make 1 million a year. Okay, why? Okay, I want to buy a car and a watch. Okay, why? Yeah, like my friends like that. Okay, okay. You think your friends care about your car? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Okay, then you meet a guy that made 50 mil. Okay, what's your next goal? Okay, 500. Okay, why? Yeah, I just really want to make 500 and, half a billion, right? Then you meet a guy with 500 million. You're like, what's your next goal? Yeah, I want to get 1 billion.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to figure your shit out. And it's not really hard to make money, in my opinion. You just sit down for 2-3 years and you just create something that the market wants. Maybe that's coaching, maybe that's software, whatever, right? That's a different video. But it's really hard to then have that money and say, okay, like, what do I do, right?
Yeah.
Do I just get more money? Is that it? Or...
Yeah, what's your passion, right?
Yeah, not what do you want to contribute? Like, why do you wake up every morning with that consciousness in your brain, and what do you do with it? So that's a hard question, and that's something that I've meditated on in Dubai.
That's good.
Because I mean, if you focus and you work for 10 years and you're not like a moron, you're gonna make 10 mil, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's doable.
If you just do that, it's fine. But why?
Yes.
And
yeah,
I think that's a hard one to figure out.
I think that's kind of funny that you say that, because ever since I joined the whole entrepreneurial space, I've met a lot of people that don't know their why. Like, I've never actually met that many people that don't know why they do what they do. But in the whole music world where I'm from, or the whole creativity, Twitch streaming, whatever, all of those people actually know why they do what they do, because they love it and it's their passion and this and that, and they would do it as well if it would earn them nothing. But those people don't really have the ability to earn a lot of money, and they don't think it's easy to earn money. I bet those people watching right now, they're probably pretty triggered. Like, oh, he says making money is easy in this world. I mean, there's inflation and I can't even buy my freaking groceries. Like, there are a lot of people like that. And on the other side, those people, in my opinion, a lot of them are actually a lot happier than certain billionaires in Dubai. Because, I think so. That's kind of weird, right?
So for me, if I wake up tomorrow and you say, okay, like Apollo, like you just cannot work on your business anymore. I'm like, all right, like if that's the death sentence, then I'm just going to stop doing, right?
Yeah.
And what I think is so inspiring about art, if you create art for the sake of creating art, then that's your life, right? That's your whole inflow. So, I mean, if you can create like a system for artists to go a bit further down the line of creating for market, creating for user, creating for business, I think that's a very good thing. And it's also going to empower people to, more freedom in the sense of, I don't think making money is bad. It's just a way of you figuring your stuff out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that making money is bad because they think of it as like that money is the root of all evil. And, in a capitalist society, the whole system is kind of based on exploitation. Like you have to get your oil from there and your other stuff from there and then sell it here for a profit and margin and blah, blah, blah. And I think a lot of people
I don't agree with that because capitalism is not a zero-sum game. If there's a video editor in Pakistan that gives you your time and you pay him for that, he wins. And you win because you get better videos. If there's a salad that is being produced in Spain, there's a farmer earning for that. The only thing is that capitalistic societies optimize for speed or for the best viable product, right? If I can get a cheaper salad in Portugal, I'm going to do that. If I can get my stuff produced in Bangladesh, I'm going to do that too.
Nice. Yeah.
So capitalistic societies produce wealth. It's not like
that's true.
A crypto pump where you buy and I sell on you and you lose. That's zero sum, right? It's me against you.
Yeah.
If we work together, we create something beautiful, everybody wins. So I think there's a really good book that's called Rational Optimist by Matt Ridley. It's about how innovation drives improvement. And I mean, you can look at socialistic societies and how they're doing and how that's going. So I think at the end of the day, if we work together, people are going to make money. And if I teach you something, if I teach you how to start an NFT project, maybe you're going to make money and maybe you're going to make your holders money. It's not that I take your time and you get nothing in return. So
the thing that you are explaining is kind of like what's the word again? There's this system that if you provide value, then you actually get rewarded for that. But in capitalism, it's kind of hard sometimes to prove that you're providing value, but you still get paid. There are a lot of jobs that are not really work. There's also a book about that. I think it's called Busy Work or something. So that a lot of people have jobs that are not really jobs. So there's a whole corporate side to capitalism as well that has a lot of people kind of mad at capitalism. But if you look at socialist societies, I think socialism is a nice idea, but it's kind of like idealistic and it doesn't really work because people always want to compete and fight, and I don't know. I hope capitalism evolves the right way now, because the spreading of wealth everywhere, because we also hire people from wherever, I think that's a good thing, and it can be a good equalizer, and if crypto can be a part of that, that would be really nice. Okay, so if success to you is having an empty calendar and doing what you want to do, then what mindset do you need to reach your version of success? How do you have to view the world to reach that success? What are the best lessons from self-help, for example, that you implement to reach your own version of success?
Okay. So I think it all starts with you seeing reality as it is, or you trying to see things as objectively as possible. So let me explain this.
So red pill.
So I believe if you want to start figuring your stuff out, there are 3 things that you have to do. Is one, you're going to fix your health, you're going to fix your body, you're going to remove sugars, you're going to remove just stimulants, you're going to release short-term dopamines, you're going to clean up your environment. That means getting rid of friends, sitting with yourself for a bit, thinking thoughts, not being on social media the whole day, because again, that messes up your objective figure of what reality is.
Yeah.
So it's figuring out your diet, figuring out your environment. And for example, what helped me a lot is I was in Europe in summer and I was in Antwerp, you know, just doing there, working a bit. And then autumn came and everybody became really sad and started raining and started complaining. I was like
yep.
Environment is fucked up. I'm going to move to a place where I don't know anybody, or there's nothing going on that is not too exciting, which is Belgrade.
Okay, yeah.
And so I wake up every day and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do besides being productive? There's nothing to do. I can open up Instagram and whatever, jerk off, but that's boring after one day. So put yourself in a situation. For example, you can fast for 24 hours and you're going to see that your body is like, okay, I want to do stuff. I want to be productive.
Yeah.
I want to do things.
True.
So, for example, if you're really lost in your life and you're like, okay, I don't know what to do, I recommend you to go to a forest or to go to a mountain cottage, leave your phone away, no books, no nothing. Go there for 3 days, just water, you fast, you don't look at anything, you don't read anything, you just sit there with your thoughts, your brain, and eventually after 3 days, your brain going into overdrive, you're going to be like, all right, I think I can see reality a bit more clear. And we're all fighting a battle against, you know, endless dopamine.
Yeah, it's dopamine.
Endless social games. It's all so stupid, right? If you don't use TikTok and Instagram and you go to a restaurant or a bus and you see people using that,
insane.
I'm like, it's like a casino, right? It's like addicted gamers.
Yep.
And if I want to play a game where I'm going to win against other people, I just don't use these things and I'm already 50% better.
True,
right?
it's actually pretty
and happier and healthier and just the benefits are endless.
Yep.
So I think it's a good way to, you know, fix your diet, fix your body, because your brain depends on your body. So just work out, don't eat too many sugars. It's really not that hard. I think it's quite simple. And then don't use any social media, remove these short-term dopamine things. Yeah. And sit for yourself for a bit. Don't talk to your friends for like 1-2 months.
Yeah.
Figure your stuff out. And naturally you're going to be like, fuck man, like, if I remove all these things that make me happy for like half an hour, like I just want to produce whatever it might be. So
yeah, because your body still wants dopamine, and if that process is not available anymore, that you can get it like that, then your brain is gonna be like, okay, let's do the long-term dopamine thing. It's all good. Yeah. But that process, I think a lot of people are focusing on the dopamine again, like, the result. But that process is actually what gives your life any meaning. And
I mean, it's really hard. It was really hard to say, okay, put away the Snickers bar, workout, or don't use TikTok, write a blog. Right?
Yeah, so one thing that I think is funny, because I'm Dutch, right? And a lot of people smoke weed over here, including me sometimes. And then when I do that, and there's a Snicker bars in front of me, then that Snicker bars will get eaten and destroyed, and 9 more,
obliterated.
Yes, it will be gone. But if I'm not high, I'm like, okay, yeah, Snickers bar. Obviously, I'm not going to eat that. I don't even care about that. It's trash. Whatever. But when I am high, it's like, oh yeah, give it to me. And that's kind of weird that your whole, like all of your boundaries can be like gone just because there's some THC in your brain somewhere. And I think a lot of people have the wrong, like brain chemistry, to be honest. There's some neural pathways just being, they've been programmed the wrong way. And I am 31 years old. And you are 25 years old, right? I think like the things I see is that I got a smartphone, my first smartphone, when I was like 15, 16 or something, 16 years old, I think, pretty late. And I had to go to school and do the highest forms of education and focus and all that stuff. So that's something I learned on a pretty, low, early age. But there are also a lot of people that are like 25 or even younger. I notice sometimes that those people they never really experienced a world without all of that easy dopamine. So yeah, I don't know. That's just a little side note.
You remember that time when you were a kid and you wanted to watch something on TV,
Yeah.
and then the TV broke down and you just couldn't do it.
Yeah. There was no other option. They just
or
had
like
to
your
read a book.
series ended on Friday evening and you had to wait a whole another week.
Yeah, exactly. But that's actually kind of good. Because also on Netflix, for example, they had this Stranger Things, I think it was. And then Stranger Things, they had one season and they just released it all at once. And everybody was just watching it, but nobody really, there was no talk about it. There was no discussion.
Eating.
Yeah, it was just, okay, we're going to put the whole season online right now. And then all of the people that have Netflix, they just binged that whole season, but not at the same time. Like, for example, I would watch it today. You would start next week or whatever. And there was like no public discussion around that whole season. And the next season, they released it per episode. And then you actually saw people talk about it and they were more invested in it. They were like, oh, I'm so curious to see what's going to happen next week and blah, blah, blah. So that kind of shows you that people like they kind of like the whole process thing. Don't do everything at once. Don't overdose yourself with like crazy amounts of dopamine or food or whatever. Yeah, like there's no community there. There's no discussion there. People don't really care. And back in the day, sounding like a freaking boomer now, but in the 90s, it was like, oh yeah, have you seen that new episode of Dragon Ball Z? Oh yeah, that was sick, dude. And I can't wait what's going to happen next week. And then you had like this whole week surrounding that whole episode, and everybody was at the exact same point in that show, and it just created so many friends groups and topics. And now I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like most of the brains now are kind of like Swiss cheese. They have holes in it everywhere. Like TikTok, Instagram, or whatever.
But I mean, again, like I think it's really hard to solve problems for the whole of society.
Yeah,
or
fact.
to wake up and say, these systems are screwed.
Yep.
So ask yourself, okay, what can I do for myself first? Okay, I'm not going to use it. What can I do for my friends and family?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell them not to use it, but you can't just change people all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it all really starts at the core of you, your family, your friends. Try to impact the world for good. And and if you do that, you're just going to be better, healthier, happier.
Yeah, it all
wealthier.
starts with the man in the mirror, You can't really change the system all at once. You just have to do the lead by example thing. Okay, I have another question. This is kind of a fun one, but I was wondering, why the name Apollo? Does it have anything to do with the Greek god Apollo and that he's the bringer of truth and prophecy? Or is there another reason?
Okay, so there are two ways to answer the story. I'll start with the first one. I lived in Bali for a year.
Oh, yeah.
And like my original name is Nico, for everybody that knows. And I was just hanging out there and I met the girl and she told me, hey, nice to meet you. My name is Free Flying Bird.
There you go. Of
like,
course.
Bali is a weird place. I was like, okay, that's your name? And she said, yeah. And I said again, like, that's your name? And she said, yeah, what do you mean? And then I asked another friend, like, did her parents gave her Free Flying Bird as a name? That's badass. And he said, no, she just changes her name every year. And I was like,
it's dope.
Okay, that's just fucking stupid. But the more that I thought about it, funny. You are an identity, right?
Yeah.
You look at yourself every day in the mirror. The easiest way to change your identity is to give yourself a new name.
True.
So I'm struggling with Nico. Nico is on YouTube 5 hours a day. Nico doesn't eat healthy. Nico chases after girls. You wake up, you're Apollo. Suddenly that Nico is dead, right?
Fair
you
enough.
can create a new reality.
Alter ego. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was inspired me. And then I always walked around and I like to test things. I'm a marketer. I'm an A/B tester.
Yeah.
So I introduced myself, Nico. People are like, what? What, Nico? Me? What? Like, okay, what's that name? And I kind of felt like, I've outgrown my Nico. My name.
Yep.
I want to be somebody else, right? Life is a game.
Yeah.
Rather be somebody new. And then I tried different names. I tried Square. I tried Apollo, I tried some other Greek names, but I got the best reaction on Apollo.
Yeah, I like
you know,
it.
Martin, I recommend you go out there in Amsterdam, tell people your name is Apollo. People are like, what?
Well, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, true that. Yeah.
Like, what? Who the fuck are you, dude?
Messenger of the gods.
Instead of me saying, hey guys, like I'm Nico.
Yeah, Nico's pretty, that's pretty obvious. Yeah.
Apollo.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, it is good. It's actually a really good name. Okay, I like it, man.
Yeah. So it's a new way. It started two things, you know. When I was younger, I was really beautiful. I had like long hair. I looked like, you know, this guy you hate. Like
because you were
private
so
school
hot?
scum that you just fucking hate.
Like Thor?
And I was really beautiful, and I was driving through Amsterdam, and I was just being beautiful. And then I looked myself in the mirror someday, and I was like, you're not that dude anymore, man. Like, this is not you. And then I went to the hairdresser and I cut it all off.
Oh, shit.
I went home. I threw away 80% of my clothes, changed my bed sheets. Pam, you're a new person, right?
There you go. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
New story, dude. Let's go.
True.
So,
new chapter.
if you want to change the story that you tell yourself. And if you want to go the extreme way, just give yourself a new name.
Yeah, well, it does work, I think. Yeah. Like in self-help, they also say, like, if you really want to start changing, first you have to commit suicide. Like, your old identity should die. Just let it be, because it was wrong in this area, this area, this area. And for example, sorry to interrupt you there. I had a birthday 2 weeks ago. And I was talking to my old friends. Old friends like 2, 3, 4, and I think I did a lot of like not improvement, just changing in the last year. Yeah.
And you talk to old people, and they know the old you.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. To quote Kanye West, you're acting like you know me, but you just really know the old me.
You really want to quote
And they
Kanye.
talk to you, and they put that stamp on you over, right? You're that guy, this guy, you do this, you get drunk.
Yeah.
You whatever, like Tinder. And you're like, I'm not that person, dude. Like, just stop putting that label on me.
Yeah.
And the more I had a birthday and I talked to like 10 people, and I was like, fuck, man, I feel bad. Like, I feel like I'm being sucked in
your old identity.
You know, that old you. And then you wake up, okay, like, I'm not that person. I'm not Nico. I'm a new name. So, fuck you all. It's a game. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that's really freaking wise, because all of those habits that you had as that old person, it's like, you can like go there like that. Like you can like snap back anytime you want, because it's actually lower energy in my opinion. And then those people kind of want to get you there again so you can be on their level. And everything you're doing now is like, yo, Nico, when you coming back, bro?
like, bro, man, I'm catching up, dude.
What the freak? I can fly? Like, yeah, it's just a different path. That's also fine. But yeah. But that's good. That's really good. Okay. So I saw your first video about who's Apollo and why you should care. And you said that there are a lot of people that have they see a lack of opportunities. And you were actually talking about young people there. So I think you were in Belgrade as well in that video. And you were like, when I look around, I see a lot of young people and they see a lack of opportunities. But actually making money online is really easy, because you need to have skill and leverage, and you need to know how to sell yourself, etc. But why are people so lost, young people specifically, in this day and age, according to you?
So I'll tell you another story.
Yeah.
I think people generally, to put that quote in the beginning, we always act on our best guess. Like, nobody has figured anything out. We just have our best guess and we act according to that. So I was a young kid in Austria. I was like, okay, what's my best guess? I'm going to move away from my sheep town and I'm going to study business in English, whatever that might mean. Okay, business, best guess, right? My parents told me that, you know, I need to get a house at like 30. What's the best way to make money? Business, I guess, right? So that's the guess. I moved to Amsterdam. I studied business. And you're like in this race, right? You know, getting the best grade. It just fucking doesn't matter, right? Yeah. But, you know, you're running, right? And you're like, okay, you know, running is good. And then you're running and you kind of get closer to the finish line. And, okay, I sat down for myself and I asked myself, okay, like, what do I do here? Okay, I'm going to do my bachelor's, then I'm going to do an internship. Then I'm going to go to like KPMG and make like 2K a month. Okay, is that the best guess? And at the same time, I had a roommate that was doing e-commerce. You know, whatever, e-commerce, good or bad. Back in the day, it was pretty fun. And he was making like 10K a month. I was like, 10K a month?
Sick, yeah.
Like, what?
Yep.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what I'm being sold here does not reflect reality. Not the best guess. And I was like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. Same time, a month later, I went to Istanbul because we're doing some online business there. I had no clue what the fuck was going on.
Okay.
But I just saw these people, and Turkish people are hustlers, right? They're just trading and changing things. And then I really realized, Apollo, or back then Nico, like what you're being sold at is just a scam. Like you doing a bachelor and then just trying to climb that ladder, that's not your best opportunity.
No.
So like, okay, like I'm just going to do e-commerce now and I'm going to try to make 10K a month, which didn't work, by the way.
Yeah, it's
but
hard.
I was already, one step in my best guessing up. And then I was in Amsterdam, COVID happened. I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to move to Bali. Then I went to Bali, and Bali is a really interesting place because there are a very interesting mixture of people. You have yogis, you have online entrepreneurs, you have tourists, but it's if you live there and work there, it's a very interesting mix of people. So I went there first day. Okay, I talked to people. What do you do? Okay, I sell a mushroom diet. Okay, yeah, I make 30K a month. All right. Okay, next guy. Okay, what do you do? Yeah, I have like some SEO company. I make 10K a month. I was like, what? Like, what?
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a yoga teacher.
Reverse
I make
world.
like 5K a month. I live in Bali.
Yeah.
And I live the best. Okay, like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what I'm being sold at in Europe, again, doesn't reflect reality.
No.
And then I lived next to a guy, and one day he woke up and he was selling an online course. He put up a story, made 100K in the first day.
Wow.
I was like, okay, guys, like,
Yeah, I give up.
like
Dude.
that just doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Like
The red pill moment.
yeah, you're like, okay, that's interesting. And then based on that, you identify new opportunities. Yeah. And I was gone for Austria for a bit, and then I came back in summer. And wherever I looked, I just saw opportunities. Like, you can change this business and, this, and you can do that. Honestly, the best way, I think, for anybody to make money on, if you're like right now in a job, is to just start like an agency. Copywriting, website building, whatever it might be, right? I didn't run an agency, but
Okay.
It's an easy way to make like 2, 3, 4K a month. And 4K a month in Web 2 for is a lot, man. You got to be 30 in some fucking corporate job to do that.
Yeah.
So
Facts.
I think the reason that people are lost is not lost, but okay, I'm going to answer this in a different way. Yeah. If you do an online webinar and you sell things to people, you should never tell them, okay, you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you're going to get there. The only thing you do in your 45 minutes of talking them, you show them that this is possible. You show them that there's likelihood that by them using your system, they can get to their desired state. So for example, the best way for you to show somebody that DeFi works or crypto works is just to be yourself, because it works for you, right? It's not about, hey, get the open door, Martin Garden.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it just works. Yeah. I have nothing to hide. So, like, the results are here.
I mean, it's cool, right?
Yeah.
People want to live your life. Sounds fun. So I think the reason that young people go for options that might not give them the best return is the lack of inspiration. And I got to give Iman Gadzhi some credit. Think about the guy, whatever you want. But he's on YouTube inspiring people to not work for governments, to not get a fucking shitty job.
Yeah.
Go out there, learn things. And you can make money as an agency, right? It's not a scam.
Yeah.
And just by me being 18, me having to seen that videos, I would have saved 100K on my bachelor, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I think college is fine, but it's just for an other system. Like, it's not really useful anymore. Well, I don't know. Hard topic. I think it's still useful, but back in the 90s, it was like the thing to do. Like, get a career, go to college, and you'll be fine. That's just not the truth anymore. And like, developments have been so fast that my parents don't really even understand how I made all of this money, for example.
Yeah, because it's so weird.
Yeah,
right?
There's like no one I can really ask, like, hey, how do you do this DeFi thing? And then there's just like tumbleweeds and silence and crickets. Like, I'm the first one here.
They're like, maybe you should buy a house?
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to learn everything yourself, right? And then I went up and down, obviously, and now I can teach it to other people.
But maybe that's a good question for you,
good.
Martin.
Yeah.
When did you have that aha moment of saying, okay, this works? This is something that I want to get myself into. Yeah.
Well, okay. So in 2008, Bitcoin was invented, right? And usually, like as a sociologist, I look at theories like that. So usually the curve of adoption of new technologies is like 10 years. And then in 2017 and 2018, so 10 years apart from the invention of Bitcoin, it actually got kind of mainstream, right? So it got to 20K, and there was like margin trading all of a sudden, longing and shorting and whatever. And that's when I started trading crypto, which was nice because I started trading in the bull run. So there was some luck there as well, obviously, but also a lot of sociologists become trends watchers. So I was already watching trends, and that's like a trend that I'm always watching. So DeFi is kind of something that emerged in DeFi summer, and that's like, I think it was 2019 or 20. Anyway, it was kind of like a new technology in the world of crypto. And I was like, I have to focus on that because that's kind of like Bitcoin in 2008. Right? It's a new thing in the world of crypto, and in 10 years, it's going to be mainstream adopted if the past is kind of correct. And usually, the past kind of rhymes with the future. Like, usually it kind of works like that. So if it has an adoption curve of 10 years and DeFi started in 2018, then in 2028, it will be kind of like the Bitcoin 20K thing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go all in on this stuff. I sold some Bitcoin for random coins that I could provide liquidity with, So I did that, and it actually started earning me money, and I was like, this is insane. And then because you have the whole smart contracts thing on Ethereum, it kind of answers the question as well, like how do you pay the rent now in a new system or whatever. You can just use smart contracts for that. And I was like, okay, all those centralized entities, they are going down. They will eventually go down. And that's happening right now. So if crypto's whole point was to be, like Bitcoin's point, was to be a decentralized currency for the whole world to use, it wasn't meant as a store of value or as digital gold or whatever. Satoshi said it's just digital cash. Then all of those centralized exchanges, it doesn't really fit the whole crypto narrative. So it's still a transition thing. That's just there because people don't know how to use a freaking hardware wallet yet. They don't know yet because the adopting of that new technology takes 10 years. But Bitcoin was already there, and people are starting to understand Bitcoin now, but understanding smart contracts and DeFi, liquidity providing, whatever, they don't get it. And when I see people, for example, interview Sam Bankman-Fried, like really big people, like Forbes people or CNN or whatever, they don't get it. They don't really get what he's saying. He's saying he's like over-leveraged. I saw this and that, blah, blah, blah. I had this FTT token, printed it out of nowhere, enabled myself to like loan from my other company. And people are just like, oh yeah, oh wow, you're such a genius. And I'm like, no, bro, he's
so brave.
He's not a freaking genius, you dumb idiot. Like, you just haven't bought DeFi Domination yet, and you should because it's a good deal. So link in the description, But anyway, if you would know about DeFi, then it's like, yeah, okay. Sam Bankman-Fried and Gary Gensler, the two of them, they kind of wanted a monopoly on crypto, but more on the decentralized version of it. So they wanted DeFi in their hands. So they also see that stuff, that, okay, DeFi is the future. Here in America, there's no regulations yet. So I want DeFi to be mine, right? My precious, my DeFi. And Sam Bankman-Fried's kind of like freaking Smeagol, like, yeah, or Gollum, what is it? I don't know. The one of Lord of the Rings that always like, my ring. And then, I don't know. It's just weird. It's obsessive and stupid. And that's even more confirmation right now in 2022 that DeFi is definitely going to be mainstream. And it was the right pick for me to like focus on. I think NFTs are a bit different. They also probably have a 10-year adoptability curve thing. But I think NFTs are even for more in the future, you know, like when Spotify and all that stuff is going to get replaced by music NFTs, blah, blah. That's going to be a whole other narrative. And that's nice as well. But I chose to focus on decentralized finance. And I think the world is going to need it. And especially now with like 50 billion being gone by FTX, that's insane. I mean, the Lehman Brothers was in 2008. That was 27 billion, I think. So it's even more than like that. Like it's almost the times two. It's insane. So a lot of money got stolen. And I'm like, yeah, this is like not what crypto is all about. So I think DeFi is something that should be on your radar for real. Because it's kind of like buying Bitcoin at, well, not bottom anymore, but like $10 or something. Yeah. So I mean, I was just trend watching is the answer to your question, actually.
It's a good question to ask yourself, or the statement I think is very true, that any ineffective system is at some point going to be replaced by a more effective system.
Yes.
And if you think about an ineffective system, huge corporations with huge staff that don't do anything, these corporations are going to get failed, right? Look at Twitter. Mm-hmm. You're going to get your ass fired. Yeah. Or currencies that are ineffective, that serve only some people, but not most of it, at some point they're going to get replaced because people only do what's in their best interest. So for me, you know, nice. I'm not a Bitcoin expert. I'm not an Ethereum expert. I just ask myself, you know, like, is this in the best interest of people? If you look at US dollar, if you look at like regulations, does that work? Is that innovative? Is that fast?
Yeah.
If not, then at some point it's going to get replaced.
Okay, that's a nice view, actually. I like that. So that's what I like about you, dude. You're like really strategic and all of that stuff. Yeah, it's nice. I think it's that simple as well. Like you have the ability to make like really complex stuff simple. Like,
I mean, as like long as people make the trend lines, they're going to happen, right? Like triangle.
That's a really good
sideway pyramid scheme.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's really cool about you, dude. Like for real, like you have the ability to like get a certain concept, and for most people it's like this, and you're like, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3, there you go. And that's I think that's really your skill. Like you can really make things concrete or something. I don't know. It's something that I don't have in the same way. So I think that's really cool. So people should subscribe to you. And where can people find you online if they want to know more about you and about Web3 marketing?
So I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube, and that's it. So if you want to, if you see this and you're like, okay, this is cool, the way that I can benefit most from new people is that they tell me what kind of content they would like to see. Okay. So head over to Twitter, shoot me a DM, comment somewhere, hey, this is something that I don't understand. This is something that I want to know more about. This is something that I like, that I don't like. Give me some negative feedback, man. I want to get better. So I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube, and I'm also doing a podcast series right now with a friend of mine where we interview Web3 people, builders, innovators, so you can soak up some knowledge there as well.
Oh, sick.
And that's it.
Cool, man. I will leave Discord, all of the links to Apollo's channel.
And if you want to use my Binance,
$4,000 free bonus on Bybit, guys.
I also have a stake.com bonus.
Free signal group. You only have to sign up to my brokers, man.
Free roulette,
yeah,
guys.
It's free.
Free roulette. It's free real estate.
Just sell your soul. Free real estate. Nice. Okay, Apollo. Nice to have you on the podcast, dude. Thank you so much.
That was a lot of fun, Martin. Thank you for asking amazing questions, being a cool dude.
Thank you so much. So yeah, this was episode 2 of the Lifestyle Academy podcast, guys. And we will see you next time.
Please no going back. Back in the days.
I
can't relate.
For more cringe, be sure to like, subscribe, and see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.